There are job listings right now paying $150,000, $200,000, even $300,000 per year. And the core skill they're hiring for isn't coding, it's not data science, and it has nothing to do with building AI models. It's writing. Specifically, it's the ability to communicate with AI systems in a way that consistently gets useful, reliable, high-quality output. That skill has a name: prompt engineering. And before you roll your eyes and say, "You're telling me someone's getting paid $300 to type things into ChatGPT," let me explain what's actually going on here, because it's a lot more sophisticated than it sounds, and there's real money in it at every level, not just the elite end. Let's be precise about this, because there's a lot of confusion and honestly some hype around the term. A prompt is simply the input you give to an AI model. The question you ask, the instructions you provide, the context you supply. Prompt engineering is the practice of designing those inputs strategically to get better, more consistent, more useful outputs. At the most basic level, everyone who types something into ChatGPT is doing a version of prompting. But at the professional level, prompt engineering is a systematic discipline. It involves understanding how large language models interpret text, knowing which techniques reliably improve output quality, structuring complex multi-step tasks, building prompt templates that can be reused and scaled, and testing and iterating to optimize results. Think of it like the difference between someone who can write a sentence and someone who can write copy that consistently converts. The underlying skill is the same, using language, but the professional application is completely different. Prompt engineers understand the psychology of AI models in the same way that a skilled negotiator understands human psychology. The reason prompt engineering commands high salaries comes down to a simple supply and demand problem. Every company in 2026 is trying to figure out how to integrate AI into their workflows, and most of them are doing it badly. They give their employees access to ChatGPT or Claude and then wonder why the outputs are inconsistent and unreliable. The problem isn't the AI. The problem is that nobody taught people how to communicate with it effectively. A skilled prompt engineer can come into an organization and transform that experience. They build prompt libraries, collections of tested, optimized prompts for common tasks. They design AI-powered workflows that take a complex business process and break it into a series of well-structured prompts that reliably produce good results. They understand concepts like chain-of-thought prompting, few-shot learning, role prompting, and output formatting, and they know when and how to apply each technique. The value they create is measurable: faster outputs, fewer errors, less time spent redoing AI work, and workflows that scale without additional headcount. Let's get into the actual techniques, because this is where things get interesting and practical. The first and most foundational is what's called role prompting. You tell the AI to assume a specific persona or expertise level before asking your question. Instead of saying, "Write a marketing email," you say, "You are a direct response copywriter with 15 years of experience in the software industry. Write a marketing email for." That one change produces dramatically better output because it primes the model with relevant context. The second key technique is few-shot prompting. Instead of just describing what you want, you show the AI examples of what good output looks like before asking it to generate something. If you want a specific format or style, give it 2 or 3 examples first. The model will pattern match to your examples and produce something much closer to your target. Chain-of-thought prompting is another powerful technique. For complex reasoning tasks, instead of asking for an answer directly, you ask the AI to think step by step or walk through your reasoning before answering. This significantly improves accuracy on analytical and logical tasks. Then there's output formatting, specifying exactly how you want the response structured. Do you want JSON, a numbered list, a table, headers and sections? Being explicit about structure isn't just cosmetic. It often improves the quality of the reasoning itself. Let me give you a realistic picture of where prompt engineering jobs exist and what they actually pay at different levels. At the high end, the 200K to 350K range, you have roles at AI companies and large tech firms. These are often called AI research engineer or LLM systems engineer roles, and they combine prompt engineering with some degree of technical skill, working with APIs, fine-tuning models, building evaluation frameworks. If you have both communication skills and technical chops, this is the top of the market. In the middle range, 80K to 150K, you have enterprise AI implementation roles. These are people who work inside large companies to build and maintain AI-powered workflows, train employees on AI tools, develop prompt libraries for specific business functions, and measure the ROI of AI investments. These roles exist in finance, healthcare, legal, and every major industry. At the accessible end, freelance and contract work, there's a large and growing market for prompt engineers who help small and medium businesses set up AI workflows. You can do this as a freelancer, charging anywhere from $50 to $200 per hour, depending on your track record. Many people are building this into consulting practices or productizing their prompts into templates they sell. The good news is that prompt engineering is genuinely learnable, and you don't need a computer science degree to do it. The foundation is understanding how large language models work at a conceptual level, not the math, but the intuition. They're trained on text and they predict what text should come next based on patterns. Understanding that shapes how you communicate with them. Next, you need to experiment extensively. Pick a task you need to do regularly, writing emails, summarizing documents, generating reports, whatever, and spend time systematically testing different prompt approaches. Keep notes on what works and what doesn't. Build a personal library of prompts that you know reliably produce good results. There are excellent free resources available. Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google all publish prompt engineering guides. The Prompt Engineering Guide at promptingguide.ai is one of the most comprehensive free resources out there. Building a portfolio is essential if you want to get paid. Document the workflows you've built, the prompts you've designed, and the measurable results they produced. Case studies are gold. If you can show I built a prompt system that reduced our marketing team's content production time by 60%, that's a compelling credential. Consider getting certified. DeepLearning.ai and Coursera have prompt engineering courses, and having a credential signals to employers that you've taken this seriously. One of the things that makes prompt engineering such an interesting career path is that it applies across virtually every industry. Let's look at a few specific examples. In marketing, prompt engineers build systems that generate personalized ad copy at scale. Not just one version of an ad, but 50 variations tailored to different audience segments, platforms, and objectives, all from a single well-designed prompt framework. In healthcare, prompt engineers are working with medical AI systems to develop prompts that help clinical decision support tools surface relevant patient information, flag potential drug interactions, or help doctors navigate complex diagnostic scenarios, with the critical requirement that outputs are accurate, well-cited, and formatted for clinical use. In legal, as we discussed in a previous video, prompt engineers are building the document review and research workflows that major law firms are now deploying at scale. In education, they're designing AI tutoring systems that adapt their explanations based on a student's demonstrated level of understanding, asking probing questions rather than just delivering information. In customer service, they're building escalation logic, prompts that determine when an AI should handle a situation versus when to transfer to a human, and how to make that handoff gracefully. The cross-industry applicability means that prompt engineering skills you develop in one context are transferable to a completely different domain, which is rare for technical skills. There's a legitimate question about how long this skill stays relevant. Some argue that as AI models get better at understanding intent, the need for carefully crafted prompts will diminish. That's partially true. AI interfaces are definitely getting more intuitive. But the counter-argument is that as AI gets embedded deeper into business-critical workflows, the stakes of getting it right go up, not down. When a prompt is generating one-off social posts, a mediocre result is fine. When a prompt is driving medical triage recommendations or financial risk assessments, precision matters enormously. The people who understand how to build reliable, auditable, consistent AI systems aren't going away anytime soon. What's likely is that the title will change. prompt engineer may evolve into AI workflow designer or AI systems specialist, but the underlying skill of knowing how to communicate effectively with AI systems will remain valuable for years to come. The honest truth is that anyone who works with AI tools regularly and pays attention to what makes outputs better or worse is already doing a version of prompt engineering. The people who turn that into a career or significant income stream are the ones who systematize it, document it, and apply it deliberately and consistently rather than just picking it up intuitively. Prompt engineering is one of those rare skills where you can start learning today and see practical results in your own work almost immediately, even before you try to turn it into a career. If you want the free resource list we mentioned, including the best free courses and a starter prompt library you can actually use, check the description below. And if you're already using AI tools in your work and want to get better at it, the next step is simple. Start experimenting intentionally rather than randomly. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this. We cover AI skills, tools, and opportunities every week. See you next time.